Hello, guys, and welcome back to MTAG TV. We're here to kick off the group of death. And today I have Sri, Adi, and Arnav, the usual boys, with me. And so, for the first time ever, Germany and France face off in a group stage game. The 2014 winners versus the 2018 winners. And both of them will look to get the upper hand after Portugal's 3-0 win that was just finished. So, before further ado, I'm just going to go to the lineups. Adi, read the Germany lineup. Then Sri, you read the France lineup, and then we kick things off.
Okay, sure. We're starting with Neuer in goal, obviously. It's a back three for Germany by the looks of it. It's Hummels, Ginter, and Rudiger. Then it's flat four in midfield. The two wing backs are Kimmich and Robin Gosens. And the midfield pivot is Toni Kroos and Ilkay Gundogan. And the front three, Havertz and Gnabry on the wings, and Muller probably is the false nine. So yeah, that's Germany.
All right.
And the French lineup doesn't have the French lineup doesn't have many surprises. For a second, I thought there was an echo in my voice with someone saying "all right" again. Very strange. But anyway, the French lineup is very simple. It's very predictable. Hugo Lloris starts in goal. It's a simple back four of Benjamin Pavard, Luka Hernandez, and Rafael Varane, and Presnel Kimpembe making up a back five. N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba linking up once again, and Corentin Tolisso joining them. Is Corentin Tolisso playing? I thought Adrien Rabiot was playing. Guys, I think you should check that out. And up
It's
front,
Rabiot. Yeah.
it says Rabiot, right?
It's Rabiot.
See, good. Yeah, glad I checked that. And up front is Karim Benzema, who returns from his 6-year exile. You have Antoine Griezmann, and of course, you have King Kylian Mbappe. So, Adi, let's go to you first. You're a Germany fan. You're all kitted out. All of us have no involvement in this game. Let's be real. So, how are you feeling ahead of the lineup? Because I've seen some murmurs from Germany fans saying they do not like the fact that a back three is being played. So, what do you think about that?
I'm actually very surprised that it's a back three. They're probably being a bit cautious, knowing it's France and they are the world champions, probably the best international side, not just on paper. So obviously a little bit of hesitancy from Yogi Low. I don't really blame him because Germany's results haven't been the best. Their defense has been one of the leakiest, if not the most, during the qualifiers. So yeah, I think it's looking like it's three at the back. I hope it's three and not five. But odd, bit of a strange lineup. So yeah.
I think there's one positive to take away from this is the fact that Kimmich is actually playing at the right wing back position, where I think he's just fantastic. I don't think he's as useful in the midfield. I mean, he's a fantastic player; he can play everywhere. But I feel his best position is that right wing back position, where he can be effective because of how good he is on the ball, as well as how good a defender he is. Adi?
I probably want to touch upon that later a bit because I can go on for that a bit. I actually don't fully agree with that, even though Kimmich is originally a right back. I'll probably delve into that a bit later, but yeah, just remember this is my point. Srini, you want to add something?
No, I just wanted to say that Joshua Kimmich can kind of play anywhere, so there's no issue with that. And also, people forget that Joshua Kimmich has like 14 Bundesliga assists this season, so I think he's a great right back. But I think he's really elevated his game in that position. And after N'Golo Kante, I don't think there's a better number 6, even though Kante is not really a 6. But yeah, I think Joshua Kimmich is the best of the best in that position. But Ritvik, you wanted to add something?
No, just let's go to the France lineup now. So France have never lost a game where Kante and Pogba have started together. Germany have never lost their opening game. Arnav, what do you make of this? Do you think France has, the edge to do it at Germany's home, or what do you make of the lineup?
Yeah, I think it's there's no surprises in the France lineup. There was, you could have had Tolisso instead of Rabiot, but apart from that, it's pretty standard since Benzema and Griezmann were both available. The best thing about this France side is you look at the core, and apart from maybe Kimpembe and Benzema, the remaining 8 to 9 players are the same that won them the World Cup. So they've already got a lot of stability, and they might not be eye-catching to watch, but they've proven to be very, very effective. And I think Germany will be hoping that the 10,000 fans they have inside the arena can pump them up and hopefully get a result tonight.
Yeah, rightly said. So coming to Benzema, it's his first international tournament in God knows how many years. He'll be fired up. Sri, I know you're his biggest advocate, so why don't you praise him a little more for us?
Yeah, man, Karim Benzema. I mean, I think it allows France to sort of play in a much more attacking fashion, and I know that sounds very obvious, but then I think France were very conservative during the World Cup, even though they won it. With Karim Benzema, that doesn't happen. Also, you have a striker who can actually get involved in the game, who's super mobile. So it really helps the likes of Griezmann and Mbappe too, especially because in one sense you have a front three of three strikers. So it really helps that Benzema can drop in that 10 position. And any team would love to have Karim Benzema, man. He definitely has elevated his game even since Ronaldo's left, which is just unbelievable. And it's just great to see a player of his caliber play in a game like this. 6 years, not playing for France. We don't want to touch on the situation because it's still very up in the air. But I don't have much to say about Karim Benzema except the fact that he's one of the greats of the game. So yeah, man, very lucky to actually see him play up front because he definitely is an F1 car, and certain other strikers are go car. I mean, I don't want to touch on it actually. But what do you think, Ritvik? What do you make of this France lineup as a whole? Because I want to know your opinion as well.
So this squad won the 2018 World Cup, and it's pretty much the same squad. Mbappe was the youngest player back then. He was 18. He's 21 or 22 right now, and he's the youngest player in the French squad. So this squad has aged really well, I feel. They have the experience of winning competitions. It's pretty much the same squad. And I just think they're just going to go and become better. And Benzema is also an upgrade to Giroud. I think he's much better on the ball, and he's much better with his passing than Giroud is. So he'll definitely supplement Mbappe's play. And I think that's why maybe Germany's playing a back five just to, restrict Mbappe a bit, restrict his runs from behind the defense. And yeah, I think it's quite a strong lineup, and I do believe France can go and win this.
Definitely. I think they're all of our favorites. But Adi, I want to go to you. I think people are really underrating Germany. And I think there's reasons behind that as well, because the preparation for this tournament isn't the best. I mean, the fact that Hansi Flick is coming in, the fact that Yogi Löw, everyone kind of wants him to leave. The dressing room, the atmosphere in the dressing room must not be the best. I think the expectations are sky high as well. So what's it like to be a German fan right now? Because even though you've got all these ballers, like Germany are not expected to win the Euros. So how's that feeling like?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's funny because I was having this discussion with a couple of Bundesliga journalists just a few weeks before the Euros, that this is probably the first tournament in a long time that any German generation is not going in and expected to, there's no pressure on them to be in the final. The German public would be very happy with the squad. Reaching the semis would be like, okay, wow, you guys have done great, that's not typical of any German team considering how many European championships and World Cups they've won. So, the mood in and around Germany is obviously not the best. The fact that there was so much unrest with, Yogi Löw, or the drama he's had bringing in the players he dumped out, which were Boateng, Hummels, and Muller. He's brought in Hummels and Muller now, almost trying to save face. And of course, the whole unrest, there was no certainty of who's going to be the next national team coach. It was between Stefan Kuntz, who's the under-21 manager currently, and Hansi Flick. Thankfully, that was resolved by Oliver Bierhoff just a month before the Euros. But again, a lot of unrest and not a pretty look for this German side. But secondly, a lot of people are sleeping on this Germany side. They're a very good team, very good individual players, but as a team, they probably haven't done as well, highlighted especially by the fact that they lost to North Macedonia at home as well, building into the Euros. So, yeah, big L for that. Arnav?
Yeah, I just, for the France boys here, I want to address the elephant in the room, the recent beef between Mbappe and Giroud. So, just for the viewers, I'll just reiterate what happened there. Giroud, after their game, went to the press and said that he made a lot of runs, but he was not found enough times. Like, he wasn't happy with the service, so to say, which in my opinion is like he didn't target anybody in particular. I feel it's absolutely normal for a striker to feel that way. But so Mbappe in return had a presser, and he said that he didn't like the fact that Giroud didn't come to him directly in the dressing room about it, and he went to the media. He talked about how people like Neymar and Benzema have more touches of the ball and drop deeper, so it's easier to play it to them and all that. And my personal view that Mbappe should have just let it be buried, because this could have created some unrest. So what is your take on it, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just very immature and juvenile, and it actually is a good thing for the rest of the tournament, because if there's beef in there, the rest of the teams actually have a chance to win the tournament. But again, I just don't understand why Giroud is doing what he did. You scored 2 goals against Bulgaria. You should be very happy about that. And also, just from a normal football point of view, Giroud is a target man. Like, he's world class at linking up play, but most target men don't get the ball because they're not mobile enough with it. Wout Weghorst as well the other day. Like, there was so many times when he was open, but no one passed him the ball. That's just the way it goes. Any target man is just supposed to be a fox in the box. You're not supposed to sort of create things because you don't have that ability, unfortunately. So for him to actually say that, I don't know that he didn't directly take Mbappe's name, but it's just very unnecessary. It's maybe there's problems because Benzema is back and he knows that there's no chance he starts. And Mbappe as well, I think it's a little vindictive. He knows that, obviously everyone's going to take his side. So he calls that presser and everyone's going to make Giroud public enemy because no one really cares about Olivier Giroud with all due respect because this team has so many bowlers. So for him to be that direct in his presser as well, it's just very juvenile. But then again, I think they'll forget about it and move on because Giroud is not a starter. If this was Benzema and he said this in public, there's no chance Mbappe addresses it. But because it's Giroud, it gets addressed because this guy is not going to start for the team. So that's my take. Ritvik, Adi, you wanted to comment? Sorry.
Just quickly on that point, Ritvik, I'll come to you after that. We touch on that. France are notorious for doing all sorts of nonsense at major tournaments. 2008, when they were coached under Raymond Dominic, there was that entire drama. Nelka and Evran, absolute, I don't want to use the word, but absolute shit show. And credit to Deschamps for nipping it in the bud, sort of. And refusing to let Mbappe go out and appear in that presser. So big credit to him. And I feel like he's handled it sort of well. It's still leaked into the media in typical French journalist fashion. But yeah, Ritvik, you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just saying that I think the media and us as fans make a bigger deal of it than it actually would be.
Yeah.
Just like the Benzema-Giroud debate, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have sorted it out. And just like everything, I think this would be sorted out and all heads would be focused towards winning games because it's the national team, right? Nothing is more important than this. So yeah, coming to Germany, Adi, I have a question for you. They play an unfamiliar system today. What do you think? Why do you think they've done it in such a big game where if they lose today, they might be last, they might come third, and they'll give an advantage to Portugal and France. So why do you think he's taking the risk?
I mean, is it a risk? Is he being really just safe? It's a strange one. I mean, obviously, he's paying respect to France, which ideally in a tournament, in a knockout tournament, you don't really pay respect to any opponent, no matter. I mean, Hungary, just look at Hungary tonight. They held their own for almost 75, 80 minutes of the game. Could have taken a result. And when you put out a team like this, you're literally just telling France, please don't come and beat us in our own backyard. We're vulnerable right now, which is really absurd to look at. But he has tinkered with the 3-5-2 formation and the 5-3-2, a couple of times, especially building up to the Euros. So probably he was hinting that this is probably what they're going to do against France. I don't think this will be the case against Hungary or Portugal. But yeah, strange one. Let's see how it goes. Arnav, do you want to add anything to Germany on that?
Yeah, actually, on the contrary, I kind of understand why Love would go over for a 3 at the back, considering how shaky they've been at the back. They conceded 13 goals in their Nations League campaign, which was just 6 games, no clean sheets at all. So, I think it's just a quick fix when you don't have a lot of time to tinker with this existing system. So what you can do is have 5 defenders at the back, and that can act like a quick fix. Also, from a tactical point of view, with the diamond that France are playing, they don't actually have any out-and-out wingers, so to say. So that actually gives the likes of Kimmich and Gosens, the wingbacks, a lot of freedom to go up. They're not going to be tracked down by anybody in particular. We know what Kimmich can do when he gets into those half spaces and how accurate he can be with his crossing into somebody like Muller or Havertz, Gnabry, any of those. So I actually think this could play well for Germany.
Yeah, fair point. I totally second what Arnav said, but I'll go to you, Ritvik, because I get a feeling that both of us are kind of repping France tonight. So I want to ask you, like in the last World Cup, for example, they played someone like Matuidi and it was much more conservative, right? What do you think of their approach tonight? Because in one sense, Mbappe, Griezmann, and Benzema are luxury players in a sense, so you don't have anyone tracking back. So do you think that could be a problem for France? Because everyone talks about the positives, but there could be negatives. They're still playing a top side. So what do you think about that?
Man, with N'Golo Kante on the pitch, I don't think there's any tracking back problem for any team in the world. I mean, that guy he makes them look like 12 men. And Benzema is actually quite good when it comes to, his work rate and falling back. So I think he'll do that a little bit. I don't expect that from Griezmann and, Mbappe. But I believe Kante, Pogba and Tolisso are more than capable of handling, the German mid. Yeah, Rabiot, sorry. Rabiot is actually an upgrade to Tolisso, so yeah, my bad. So I think they're more than capable to handling that mid, and I do believe that the likes of Benzema do make that midfield three into a midfield four. Sometimes even Griezmann drops in. So I think it's something that's been tried and tested by France, and I don't see any hurdle in this. Arnav?
Yeah, Srini, about the wing backs point that I made. Yeah, sure, I agree that Griezmann, Benzema, Mbappe, they're all going to help by pressing up top and all of that, but they're not actually going to track back a lot. So I think it places more onus on the likes of Pogba and Rabiot to be more defensively sound tonight. And we've seen Pogba lose his marker at times for United, and he's costed them a couple of times in the box also. Do you think with the wing backs bombing forward, that could actually possess a problem for France, and how do you think they're likely to deal with that?
See,
I mean,
I just wanted to say that
go for it.
The fact that the French back four, all four of them are essentially in a way centre backs. Like Pavard and Hernandez also play centre back for for Bayern Munich. So I think that will add to countering the wing backs, because they know how to defend, they know how to be that last man, they know how to play as a centre back. And I think that really shifts the gear when it's the right back versus a centre back playing in that position. So I think that is something that will help them counter it. But yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to touch on is, like, sorry to remind you about this, Ritvik, but in the Champions League final as well, like, you saw like Reece James and Ben Chilwell really pressing our wingers, which is why they sort of had no space. When you see guys like, especially Robin Gosens, who's basically a winger, bomb down that flank, you're going to have Benjamin Pavard, who's going to press really high up. And I don't expect Kimmich to just constantly bomb down the right. I actually think he'll join that midfield, because I think his role is still very important. He's going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a City-esque role where one of the wing backs actually joins the midfield and the other one just provides that width. So, I mean, it could be dangerous because it's very simplistic to say that you have N'Golo Kante, but then N'Golo Kante does have the lungs of like 15 people. So it's kind of, I don't know, man. It just could really be that simple, and Kante could destroy that midfield. I'll go to you, Adi, because I touched on the midfield. I have an interesting question. So personally speaking, I think this German midfield is still super stacked. They have Toni Kroos, your favorite player of all time, probably your favorite person of all time. Yeah, you're repping him as well. Of course, they have Ilkay Gundogan, they have Leon Goretzka, they have Joshua Kimmich as well. Do you think the best combination has been picked today? Because as good as the likes of even Toni Kroos are, I feel that Goretzka Kimmich pivot is still the best, because I think it's the most balanced and can compete with that French midfield. So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, first of all, Goretzka's injured for this game and probably for the end of the group.
Fair enough. I didn't know.
So that's the reason he's not there. And just also touching upon your point earlier. So this system tonight can be one of two. Obviously, there's the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2. They can also switch to a 4, which is where Ginter goes into right back, which he's not unfamiliar with really. And I think the best German side would ideally, of course, be with Goretzka in that midfield along with Kroos and Gundogan. But I think Kimmich slotting in there, they're very effective that way, and I hope that's the case. Kimmich, I feel, is really wasted right back to some extent. So much more ideal. I mean, I'm looking at Ritvik's face; he's not impressed, but he is wasted right back. Like Srini said, he's had 14 assists in the Bundesliga. He has been a central midfielder for Bayern completely the last 3.5 years, and he's learned under the likes of Thiago. He's completely inherited that role to some extent. He's absolutely fantastic in midfield, and yeah, Germany's midfield is probably their biggest strength. Huge loss, for Goretzka there. Yeah, Ritvik, you want to add something?
But you tell me, okay, in this German mid, do you really think Kimmich will play the role where he'll, step forward? Won't he be the person who holds? Won't he sit behind Kroos and Gundogan? Because I think much better on the right wing, where he can actually go forward and attack rather than sit at the back and, cut the lines, cut the passes.
So I'll tell you why I feel that Kroos and Gundogan won't work because when Germany got thrashed 6-0 by Spain, the midfield with these two, Kroos and Gundogan, and they got ran over the park completely. So I really fear that's going to happen tonight. If these two are the midfield pivot tonight, Germany are done. I can assure you that. Because they don't have the legs, they're not box-to-box engines. They're the players who need the time and space on the ball. And a team like France with the likes of Kante, Pogba, and Rabiot in midfield, they're not going to give you any time. So Germany are they're really playing a risky game. Yes, you have a certain benefit with Kimmich attacking on the right, but that's very minimal. I would much rather have him sitting in front of the centre backs with a flat four at the back. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree that I don't think this midfield will work just because they lack a holder in the mid. But okay, we've talked enough about the midfields. I think let's come to the key players next. Okay, so I'm gonna go to you, Sri. Who do you think is the key player for France and why?
It's very simple. It's N'Golo Kante. I don't have to say anything. It has to be N'Golo Kante. I know they have an array of attacking talent on the pitch, but N'Golo Kante is a cheat code right now, and especially in that box-to-box role, he's even better than in that number 6 role, which I expect him to play. Because recently, either of Tolisso or Rabiot have played in that number 6 role with Kante pushing forward, and you just can't touch him in those positions because his decision making is fantastic. Like, I know he wins the ball, but he's very efficient with the ball. Honestly, like, it's just one touch football. He knows when to sort of lay the pass for the other attackers. So yeah, I think it's got to be N'Golo Kante. He's just right now he's the best midfielder in the world. Like, his impact, he's probably the most impactful player on the planet right now. And I think the French players also want to win the Ballon d'Or for him, as Benjamin Pavard touched on as well. So yeah, I think he's going to be great in this game. And if N'Golo Kante has the game of his life, there's no way Germany can even touch them. It's as simple as that. So N'Golo Kante for me. Arnav, for you?
Yeah, for France, I'm actually going to go with the surprise pick in Rabiot. I think, Adi mentioned about running Germany's midfield off the park, which is quite a possibility if it is actually Gundogan and Kroos in the pivot. So I think Rabiot is going to have a huge role denying the likes of Kroos and Gundogan any time and space on the ball, because if they get that, then they can pick almost anybody from anywhere. So Rabiot for France, and for Germany, I'm going with Muller, slightly more obvious pick. I think it's his experience and he's the likeliest for Germany to score, in my opinion. Adi?
Excellent point about Rabiot. I think he would have also been my pick, but I'm actually going to go for Benzema. I feel like he has a lot to show on a huge world stage today for France. So if he steps up, France will do well. Kante is an obvious one, so I don't want to really touch upon him. So I think Benzema is my pick. For Germany, I'm actually going to go for Kai Havertz tonight. Again, he has a great game. Germany can hopefully get a result. I'm hoping for a draw. So yeah, he had a good game in the Champions League final, so hopefully he replicates that. Ritvik?
Yeah, so for Germany, I'm gonna go with a very underrated shout. I'm gonna go for the keeper. I'm gonna go for Manuel Neuer. Because I believe France are gonna shoot so much. They're gonna have so many shots, and it's gonna require a masterclass from Neuer to deny them and score one on the counter or something. I don't think Germany are gonna dominate with this system. So I believe Neuer will be their key player. But for France, I think it's gonna be Antoine Griezmann. He has the most number of he has the most number of goals against Germany. It's his favorite opponent. He has the most number of goals and assists in the past 2 tournaments. If you combine the Euros 2016 and the 2018 World Cup, and yeah, I think Germany is his favorite opponent, and I think he's going to do the damage today. Sri, you want to add something?
Yeah, no. I was just thinking about my key player, and it has to be Joshua Kimmich, because a part of me is very worried about Germany's midfield, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see a really surprise thrashing from France, just because that midfield is very weak for me, honestly. I think they really miss Leon Goretzka and Kimmich. But I'll go to you, Adi. I have a question, and then we can touch on the group and the combined 11 and things like that, and also the comments. Who do you think is the striker today? Because Kai Havertz loves to play that false 9 role, because out wide he's not looked too comfortable this season. Serge Gnabry tends to play as a false 9 under Yogi Low. And obviously, Thomas Muller has done that before, and he's done that recently as well. So, who would your pick be, and who do you think will actually be the false 9 tonight?
I think it's the obvious one is probably Muller is going to be the false 9, because the other two are still they are wingers by definition. Of course, they, like you mentioned, they play the false 9 in different systems, but it's weird to see these 3 starting together, probably for the second or third time only. So Muller is probably going to be the striker, the false 9 who sets them up. So yeah.
Fair point, fair point. So I think we should take Dilsher's comment. Dilsher, we have fulfilled our promise of a combined 11. So I think we should go one by one, right? And no, I don't want a huge analysis of every player. We all know how every player plays. That's why I haven't prepared my nerdy stats for tonight. But Arnav, I'll go to you. Who starts in goal? I think it's a very obvious choice.
Let's decide on the formation first.
4-3-3, man. Come on, has to be.
अच्छा ठीक है. So yeah, in goal, Neuer, easy pick. Now I'll take Kimmich at right back, so I can have Kante as the DM. Kimmich at right back, left back Lucas Hernandez.
एक second. I thought we were going one by one. Hold on. I thought we were going one by one.
Okay.
One by one. Let's go one by one. All right. So you pick Neuer and Kimmich. Okay. Up say guys, let's go one by one. So let's go to Ritvik. Who's your next pick?
My centre back pick is Kimpembe for France. Had a good season. Yeah. Simple as that. I don't want to. We're not touching upon more.
Hold on. One second. Ritvik, you're supposed to give your keeper and your right back, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
No, it's got to be one by one.
Just picking one player each.
Why aren't we discussing all the positions? That's ridiculous.
Because we know Neuer is better than Lloris. Like, what do you want to break down?
And right back,
we know Neuer is the best.
It's 11:56. By the time we
yeah, man, we can't. We get it. Just like okay, don't say.
But I'm not having Kimpembe in that team. There are way better defenders.
I am with you.
No way.
Definitely.
You got to go with Rudiger and Varane.
No chance.
Exactly.
No chance. But
Varane has had a
way better than Varane.
Varane has had a shambolic season.
That's strong, but Varane's not had the best season. Kimpembe's had a great season. He's very underrated. Exactly. Come on, guys. Anyway, it's one by one, so that's why there's supposed to be debate. Let's not discuss about Kimpembe. Adi, let's go to you. Kimpembe's been picked. Who's the other centre back?
I'm going to go for probably Rudiger then. No Varane. Yeah, I'll go Rudiger.
Good one.
Srini.
Rudiger. All right, fair enough. Rudiger's had a great season. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Left back, I think Robin Gosens plays as a wing back, so I'll go for Luka Hernandez. Very solid, better defender. So yeah, Luka Hernandez is my pick. Who's your first midfielder, Arnav?
Man, that's quite obvious. N'Golo Kante.
Boring answer, man. I mean, it just is obvious. So I think someone should go for Sissoko. But anyway, Ritvik, who's the next midfielder?
I'm gonna let Adi, choose his best player. So I'm gonna go for Paul Pogba.
Can you see the name of the back? Can you barely see it?
Yeah, we can.
Number 8, the classiest man.
So Adi, you go next and go off.
Easy pick for me, Toni Kroos. Yeah, don't have to really say much. Ritvik?
Guys, I want to ask you, Arnav and Ritvik, would you guys pick Toni Kroos in this midfield for sure, or no, not really? Because I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Look,
I think with N'Golo Kante, I'm definitely picking Kroos. But if there's no N'Golo Kante, then Gundogan makes it.
I'd probably do as well.
I like that shot. I like that shot. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone for Toni Kroos, so I'll be honest. Even though he's great, but yeah. Attackers-wise, obviously we're going for Kylian Mbappe, right? Like, there's no discussion. He's just the best, just the coldest of the coldest. So yeah, Mbappe for me. Arnav, for you?
I'm going with Benzema.
Has to be. I mean, this is going to be boring, man. I mean, it has to be. Yeah, so let's pick a German. Let's pick a German after this. Adi, who are you going to go for?
Timo Werner. No, I'm just kidding. He's not a bad shout, though. Put some respect on his name, by the way. Okay,
he's not in the starting 11.
I get slaughtered by my friends for saying that Timo Werner if he actually starts finishing, he's going to be an absolute problem. But come on, man.
He will. That's true.
He will. He's really good. But come on, we can't.
Not Werner. It's probably going to be Muller for me. Yeah, pretty simple. If we have to go.
So you put Muller on the right wing then, because Benzema is playing up top.
Are we really analyzing every position like that? He's just in there. We need some German this thing there.
Yes, is there a case for? Yeah, same. If we're picking a traditional right winger, I think Gnabry would actually do better there.
Yeah.
We'll play with the French setup where there's a cam and there are two strikers. So Muller makes the cam.
You're the one who said 4-3-3, man. You're the one.
Yes, it's a 3 only. It's a 3 only. It's a hybrid 3. Let's make it that.
Can you move on from the 11 now?
Yeah, let's just I mean, this has been very obvious. Thanks for the comment, though, Dilche. I think let's take a couple of the comments and then we'll move to predictions and like things like that. Group F, if you guys want us to talk about that. Gary Naldo 7. So I think you're not a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. It's not obvious enough. He says, I know you're all talking about the next match, but Pinaldo clutch in the end. To be fair, the second goal wasn't like a pen. It was actually a proper goal. So fair play to CR7, absolute goat. 11 goals in the Euros. So yeah, man, come on.
That's what happens when you have two of the most inevitable footballers in Bruno and Ronaldo. Shit game,
Don't
but
put them in the
game.
same sentence. Don't do that. Oh, that's disgusting. That's a stinker. No chance. There's Rishabh Khanna saying Ritvik going all Pep with the formation. If Ritvik was going all Pep with the formation, it'd be like a 2-3-5 or something like that. Let's not do that. Ronaldo 1-2-3 rocks says Ronaldo 1-2-3 rocks, the absolute legend says Ritvik आज stats पढ़ के आया I can see. हाँ Ritvik ही पढ़ के आया हम पढ़ के नहीं आए भाई आज तुम्हें पता है क्या? Mehul Suri says Arnav would have picked the bench as well. Ronaldo 1-2-3 rocks thoughts. Okay, so we're waiting for Ronaldo 1-2-3 rocks expert analysis here. Mehul Suri says so did Sterling Ritvik. What is he referring to? Is he referring to some poor miss?
Probably about Werner.
Probably about Werner, yeah. Let's not even do the Sterling thing, man. He scored recently. Let's not do that. Kabir saying, that comment's killing. He says, trying to sneak Bruno after his stinker like we won't notice. Big facts, man. Absolutely. Let's see if he doesn't know big game. Guys, do you want to quickly touch on Group F or should we just stop because we've talked too much already? Let's decide right now. What do you think?
I have a question for whoever wants to take it.
Cool.
Do you think, knowing the result of the Portugal game, both teams are going to go all guns blazing for this win because of how important it's going to be?
No. I mean, you could go, Adi, if you want. Sure, go ahead.
I'll just go very quickly. If Hungary would have got results from that or draw, or if they would have snuck a win, I think they would have probably gone all guns blazing. But no, I don't think so.
I think I have a more interesting question, and this one is for the viewers also. So we'd like to know your thoughts on that. You know, in a group like this, in the Group F, which is has been called the Group of Death, do you guys feel that it would have been better if we had two teams getting out of the groups instead of three, or are you of the opinion that you'd like as many heavyweights as possible in the knockouts? I personally feel it would have been much more interesting if we only had two going through.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this whole format is rubbish, honestly. Like, it's a farce. Like, when Portugal won the Euros last time around, I mean, fair play to them, but that was no actual Euros domination. That was barely anything. Like, I'm sure all of us don't really feel that. I don't think any of us actually feel that Portugal even won the Euros. Like, I don't even feel right when I say that. It's very odd. No one actually, like, when I watch that Adair goal back, it's probably the worst major tournament I've ever seen. Some Confederation Cups have been better than that. I'm not even going to lie. But guys, I think we've talked enough. Very quickly tell me who gets out of this group. No analysis needed, and then we do predictions, right? Ritvik, who gets out of this group? Is it Portugal? Because you're João Cancelo on this, guys. Let's be honest.
Man, they've sent me home. Please don't send me home.
COVID sent you home.
Send me home.
Yeah. But who gets out of this group? Quickly.
I think all three of them do. I think Germany, France, and Portugal do it. I think Germany is going to finish third. That's what I predicted in my, prediction app or whatever that they have on UEFA. Yeah, I think they're going to finish third and they're going to manage to go through just because of, these big games tend to be a little cagey. I don't think it's going to be a thriller or something. But fun fact, however, 3 years ago was Portugal-Spain, the 3-all, the game of the tournament. Yeah, so I saw that live.
The Hayas decline started from there.
So yeah,
heartbreak.
If Destiny has it and it's the same date, so we might be in for a thriller today. I don't know.
We might be. We really need one, honestly. Adi, who gets out for you? Do you think Germany will finish top two or will they finish third? Because they should get out of the group, let's be honest.
I'm being honest. I put them third as well in my Euro tournament predictor. So I think France top for me, Portugal second, and Germany third.
Arnav?
I actually wasn't convinced by Portugal tonight. And but they did get the job done in the game that they had to. A draw would have made things easier, made the group even more open. I'm not going to bother commenting on the third because it's too complicated, a lot of math involved in that. But yeah, now I feel that France and Portugal are going to be the top two. Germany third, so they might make it, they might not.
All right.
I mean, yeah. I thought someone else spoke. Oh my God! Wait. Was that you or was that me? Was that my voice echoing?
Anyway,
Amazing. This is fantastic content, guys. You should subscribe just for this. This is what we do at MTAG TV. There's so much analysis, so much nerdy stats going on, and there's moments like this where I look like a nut job. But yeah, same man. I mean, Germany are going to finish third. They were initially my disappointment of the tournament. I actually hope they do well because there's so many fun players to watch. But this tournament is a write-off for me. So if they reach the quarters, the semis, fair play to them. But I won't have a lot of high expectations, but they could surprise. I actually think they could surprise as well because Portugal won great today. And Mehul Suri has touched on that as well. He says, don't know about the rest, feeling sorry for Hungary. They deserved a point, at least they did. I think it was a very strange game of football. I don't know how it's a 3-0. It was not a 3-0 at all. Really well defended from Hungary, so fair play to them. All right, boys, quick predictions. Let's go to Adi first because you're repping your German boys. What's going to happen? And scorers as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1, hopefully. So, scorers, I'll go Benzema, and for Germany, I'll say Toni Kroos free kick because I don't see Germany really scoring from open play. So, I'll go for a Kroos free kick. So, yeah, 1-1.
Arnav, for you?
Yeah, I think France are going to prove to be too strong for Germany, but I do think it's going to be a close game. So 2-1 France for me. Scorers, Benzema and Griezmann for France. And Gnabry pulls one for Germany.
Ritvik?
Yeah, I agree with Arnav. I think it's going to be a 2-1 France, but I think it's going to be Griezmann with both goals for France. And for Germany, yeah, for Germany, I think it's going to be who should I say? Yeah, I'll go with Havertz. I think he'll carry on his form. He'll score one. Sri, what do you got?
I mean, I'm just going to go for a fun prediction. Like, guys, when I make predictions, it's not going to happen. I'm not God. I just want a fun prediction. I'm going for 3-1 France tonight. Ronaldo 1, 2, 3 rocks. What are you doing in the comments, man? What are those emojis? 3-1 France. I'm saying Mbappe, Griezmann, and Pogba to score. And for Germany, I'm saying Serge Gnabry to score because he has a fantastic record. It's probably like the best record at the tournament, just form-wise. So Gnabry's been amazing for them. Samrid with a comment as well. I think we should wrap up very soon. And then there's an interesting question I have, guys. So very quickly, we'll touch on that as well. Samrid says Portugal finished third in 2016 group stages. Yeah, man, and they won. So this tournament format is a farce. Boys, very quickly, no analysis. One player off the bench who could change the game. Ritvik, let's go to you.
I think it's going to be Timo Werner for Germany. If the game needs to be changed, he's going to come on, run behind, and do something, some type of damage and assist or something. Yeah. Arnav?
Fair point.
Giroud for France and Sané for Germany. I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing Sané.
Adi?
I think Coman for France. Is he fit to play? He is, right?
I think so. Great research, but I think so. I'm not sure.
I think he's on the bench. And he's playing at his
Yeah,
own
he's
stadium.
on the bench.
Yeah, so I think he'll do bits. And for Germany, I'll go Timo Werner. You asked no analysis, so don't ask me. Srini, you.
I'm not asking. Coman off the bench, although I'd love to see Marcus Thuram, but Coman off the bench because he's probably going to come on. I'd love to see Dembele as well, but again, his finishing is terrible. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So, Ronaldo 1, 2, 3 rocks. I did answer your comments. What are my thoughts on Dembele? By the way, that spelling of thoughts is very dangerous. I'm not going to say anything, but yeah. And Germany-wise, Leroy Sané, if he plays on the left. If he plays on the right, it's not happening. Stop posting this Robin Ribery thing. It does not happen. By the way, my thoughts joke has killed everyone, so we're going to end the live very soon. Arnav, you want to add to that?
Just before we... I had something in mind, man. Your joke has actually... No. Your joke has actually made me forget what I was about to ask you guys.
Okay, let's just wait for it. Why not? Let's just make it very awkward for everyone.
Yeah, elite content, guys.
Amazing. I love this. Arnav, hurry up, yeah. Come on, we gotta wrap up.
What are you doing, man?
Say anything.
I just
anything.
said you guys can rap. I can't seem to remember what I was about to ask.
Ritvik, sign us off.
All right, guys. Before we sign off, please subscribe. Please like. Let us know what you like. We're open to criticism. Just tell us what you want, and we'll do that. We have 4 elite pundits for you coming in every day. Arnav, have you remembered what you're gonna say?
Yeah. Just this is again for the viewers. Can we have a Timo Werner offside bingo? Just pick whatever minute he's going to score an offside goal in.
Good one.
Winner gets a shout out.
Definitely.
Plug us off,
I like that.
and then we'll sign off.
Or we
Yeah,
could play a
that's it.
drinking game, but I don't suggest that. That's not very safe, honestly. There'll be like 50 shots everyone has to do per game. No chance. But yeah,
That's
Ritvik,
more
are we
shots than
signed off?
Timo
Yeah,
Kunwa.
Sorry.
just plug MTAG. How you do?
Okay,
And then-
I'll plug everything. So everyone watching, first of all, if you are watching, why the hell aren't you subscribed? What is going on? Ronaldo123 rocks. I'm not gonna read that comment out because I don't want to be cancelled. But guys, you should subscribe to the channel. You should like the video. It really helps us a lot. You should drop a comment. You should follow us on the socials. The boys are dying right now. They can't handle it. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on IG. And yeah, man, look forward to these lives because we're doing them every single day, super consistent. And guys, if you want to see us on Clubhouse, if you want to see us on IG Live, whatever it is, you gotta let us know. If you don't let us know, we won't know what to do. So yeah, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And we hope it's a great game. And until next time, we move.